Let's take you back 25 years and for pure excitement, high drama. That 2000 PGA Championship at Valhalla, Tiger against Bob May, is on the list with Rory 2025 at the Masters, on the list of most exciting majors we've ever seen. How do you follow up what he did in Louisville? Well, golf's too easy in the daylight, so turn out the lights, put a blindfold on Superman, and we'll see how good he is. That shot in the dark at Firestone was laughably memorable. Another win, then a week off, and then another mind blower. He was off to Canada 3 in a row. And once more, the finish was, well, it was outrageous with a shot that only he could execute. We'll see it again in just a moment. So Canada, his 9th and final win of 2000, third in a 4-week stretch, and the 5th straight victory in which he set a tournament scoring record. Just 24 years old at the time, and you knew. You were watching an all-time great, and he would have been excused if after Valhalla he had exhaled and called it a season. But Tiger was relentless. He was ruthless. And here we go, Brandel. Final hole at Glen Abbey. Tiger with a one-shot lead on this man, Grant Waite.
First of all, yeah. I mean, this sets it up. Grant Waite playing some phenomenal golf. By the way, at the end of the week, he was 21 under. Tiger was 22 under. The next best was Sergio Garcia at 15 under. Tiger wasn't there. Grant goes away. But because Grant hit the green, Tiger not going to lay up. Got to go for it. 218 yards. Couldn't actually see the hole. The trees were in the way, but he flushed it, and he could tell from the roar that it was spot on. 18 feet away, and what a year. What a highlight, and what a shot. Any year, well, in my estimation, this is the greatest year in the history of professional golf, and it was chock full of highlights, but none, I dare say, exceeded this one.
Grant Waite, where he was standing, thought Tiger had hit it in the water. Speaking of water, he was an overzealous fan, but it was Tiger mania. Stevie Williams saw plenty while on the bag for Tiger. He said it was the greatest shot he'd ever seen Tiger hit. What did Tiger say? Quote, I hit it over the green, so it wasn't really that good. He did make birdie.
I hope his tongue was in the cheek when he said that.
I believe it had to be, but you never know with Tiger. I said last night after shooting 63 at the Memorial that same year, he turned to Butch and said, meet me on the range, we have work to do. Records Tiger set in 2000 that still stand today. 67.79 scoring average, nearly 5 birdies every round he played. He hit 3 of every 4 greens for the year. And he played 110 straight holes without a bogey. That's more than 6 rounds of golf. Well, he was at Pebble yesterday where he took on 2 shots. The Tiger hole out at 15, the comeback to beat Matt Gogol, the 7-iron up the hill at number 6 on his way to that 15-shot runaway at the U.S. Open. Johnson Wagner hopped on the red-eye out of California to Toronto. He's zigzagging North America in tribute to Tiger in 2000. Wags, welcome back. This shot, this one's a little different, isn't it?
It is different, and I've played a number of Canadian Opens around Glen Abbey Golf Club, and I can't think of too many rounds where I didn't walk by this bunker and take a look at the shot he hit. Absolutely remarkable. One of the coolest things about that week back in 2000, on Friday with 4 holes to go, he's outside the cut line. Birdies 15, the par 3, eagles 16, the par 5, birdies 17, and then eagles 18 to put himself in position to obviously go on and win. And I mentioned it earlier, but when you look at this shot now, we're completely blocked out, cannot see the flag from the trees up by the water's edge, but these trees here have grown a lot in the last 25 years and have created this spot where you really have to curve this ball pretty good left to right out of this bunker to get it on the green. Wind's a little bit in out of the right. It's not blowing hard, but it's blowing enough that I've got 3-iron. It's not going to be a 6-iron today. I got a 6-iron right behind me with my caddy, Andrew Bradley. I will happily show you where that 6-iron will go. But for me right here, starting this ball sort of left center of the green and just trying to work a fade with this long iron back into the wind, get it back there in the area where Tiger hit it. Ball's a little above the feet, so you got to choke down, obviously. And this is one of those, we talked about commitment on 6 at Pebble. You better be committed to this one. Oh, keep cutting. Keep cutting. Oh, well, it's not. It's dry. It's not all the way up there. Maybe a little bit of heavy contact with this big chunky sole 3-iron I got, but it just shows how good it was, man. He hit a 6-iron from this distance. He did have sort of a wet, packed down sand, which makes that shot easier because it was rainy that day, and it was also downwind. But yeah, pretty happy. You want the 6-iron, Brandel?
Yeah, Wags, you got applause in the studio here. Everybody in the room on it. But yeah, just for some context, hit the 6-iron. Let's see where the 6-iron goes.
Well, you asked me in the break if you thought I could get the 6-iron to the green after seeing where that 3-iron just went. No, I get it to the water, yeah. All right, 6-iron. Well, that's on an aggressive line.
You get it?
Go.
No, wow. In fairness, you didn't have the adrenaline.
No, I didn't, but I caught that 6-iron pretty good. I would say it was about 15 yards short of the front edge.
So, Wags, you know, when we look at this, you know, and you start to look at all these great back and forths that Tiger has had, you know, I'll go back to the beginning when Ed Fiori got him, and then, of course, Bob May, the back and forth in 2000. Billy Mayfair is the only person that ever successfully beat Tiger Woods in a playoff on the PGA Tour. Nick O'Hearn famously beat Tiger Woods twice in match play. Wai Yang took him down at the PGA in 2009, and then, of course, this great back and forth with Grant Waite. Why do you think it was sort of middle tier, maybe even a little lesser tier players had the most successful sort of back and forth, more so than Vijay Singh, Ernie Els, or Phil Mickelson? Now, they all famously had one with him, maybe, that I can remember, but it seemed like the most back and forth were between these lesser tier, middle tier players. Give me your psychological breakdown of why you think that is.
Well, I think when you look at guys like Ernie, VJ, Phil, Sergio even, they saw him a lot more, and they got beat by him a lot more. When you're a guy like Grant Waite or Ed Fiori, any of the guys you mentioned, that's probably the only time you're ever going to get to go head-to-head against Tiger Woods. So it takes you to a completely different level. Like, you know what? I'm going to start today. This is probably the only shot I'm ever going to have to take Tiger Woods down. So I'm going to give it my best chance, and I'm going to be focused. And by the way, I have nothing to lose. And I think that that's the attitude those guys went out with.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And Johnson, is it fair to say that there were shots at that time that really only Tiger could play or dared to play?
Oh, without a doubt. And the one on 15 yesterday at Pebble, a lot of guys can hit that shot. But the shot on 6 yesterday that we hit at Pebble, the shot here tonight, there's a handful of guys in today's game that would be able to pull that shot off with modern technology, much less, normal lofted irons back then, a Bellata ball. This is before the Pro V1 came out and changed the game altogether. So, yes, Tiger Woods was superhuman. He was in the gym working harder, swinging the club faster by miles than anybody else that was playing the game in the year 2000.
Yeah, but I think you're onto something that it was simply that they embraced it. I feel like from a psychological standpoint, the better players that went up against him, the Sergio Garcias, the David Duvals, the Phils, the Ernie, the VJs, look, yes, they famously had a nice back and forth here or there, but he seemed to just impoverish those who psychologically were invested in the outcome. I remember Bob May, the eve before the back and forth with Tiger on Sunday, said, look, I'm going to embrace it. Nobody's expecting me to win. Grant Waite had a great line afterwards when asked how he kept up with Tiger Woods that day. He said, the player you're paired with can't stop you from executing your shots. He said he got paired with Jack Nicklaus early in his career, late in Jack Nicklaus's career. He said he came out on top of that one. He took some confidence from that, went head-to-head with Tiger Woods. All I would say is, similarly, you couldn't stop Tiger Woods from executing his shots.
One last thing, Johnson. I think it's the stamina, the ability to summon the energy to do what he did toward the end of that year. I mentioned earlier that, had he just said, hey, that's enough after Valhalla, it was 3 straight majors, you'd have understood. But to do what he did at Firestone and then at Canada, it boggles the mind. That was the 9th win. It is just that stamina, the resources that he had to just run forever and run hard for a long period of time that really stand out.
Well, and it just speaks to his physical conditioning in an era where there was just a handful of guys working out on the road. Tiger Woods was, I think that's how, when you look back on his career, how he changed the game so much was that it was a rarity to see a guy work out the way he did, and now it's the norm, and that's, in my opinion, exclusively because of Tiger Woods and the way he went about his business.
Well, speaking of physical conditioning, you're on a heater right now. Where are you headed tomorrow, of course, big boy?
I'm drinking a lot of good bourbon, Brandel. I think that's my physical conditioning right now.
Wags, thank you. That was some great work. Hit some good shots right there.
He had a heck of a shot.
And he's not done. We still have a couple of nights to go. One more look. Wasn't just the volume of victories for Tiger Woods. You know, it was how he did it. That's impressive, right?
Look at Wags go.
Some pressure on Wags.
Yeah, a heck of a shot.
Yeah. I mean, more than any other athlete, I think, and certainly at that time, and maybe ever, Tiger did stuff that made you say, can you believe what he just did? And I think the shot at Canada was every bit of that.
I might have jumped up and said, come on, 50 times that year. Watch it go.